So yeah, we are at NECANN 2019. I am Monica Cannon Grant, part of Violence in Boston. I am here with former city councilor Tito Jackson, who is now the weed man, who is a part of Verdant Medical. Did I get that right?
Yes, you did.
Okay. And we are here. This is amazing. So Tito, tell me a little bit about Verdant.
So Verdant Medical actually started out as one of the older licenses, which is a medical license. So when the medical law passed, you actually had to do what they call vertical integration. Mm-hmm. Vertical integration means you need to grow it,
right,
and sell it. And so we actually are doing 3 stores. We have approval for 2 of our stores thus far. Mm-hmm. One in Provincetown.
Okay.
Really excited. That's probably going to be the first to open.
And that's near the Cape, right?
That's the tip of the Cape. So all the way that arm, the end of the arm,
gotcha.
it's the finger. It's actually the middle finger. But yeah, all the way at the end is Provincetown. A beautiful, beautiful place.
Okay.
We'll have a beautiful store there. We're doing a grow facility in Rowley, Massachusetts. So if you've ever been to the Topsfield Fair, it's 2 towns over from Topsfield.
Gotcha.
And we're also doing a dispensary there. Mm-hmm. And we have a proposal in Mattapan.
Awesome.
For a dispensary right on Blue Hill Ave
okay.
in Mattapan Square. So that's one of the jobs that I have. And so we'll probably hire about 150 people.
Oh, that's amazing.
In the Mattapan store alone, we'll have 50 people. We're looking for 50% of those individuals to be from Mattapan.
Awesome.
We are we have a goal as a company of having 20% of our employees have a quarry.
Wow. Which is amazing. That means that some of the people that have been affected by being incarcerated due to marijuana now have an opportunity to get employed and be in the weed game legally.
And they have what I refer to as transferable skills.
Absolutely.
So it's not as if they need to be taught the difference between indica and sativa. And so really when it comes down to it, you have people who have a pre-existing knowledge base and also potentially a customer base. Mm. And so I look at this from the business side. And so we have a lot of really, really cool things that are happening. So that's one of my jobs.
Okay.
The other job that also really excites me is that I run a program. I made a partnership with a company called Tilt. And our program is called the Tilt Inclusion Program, right? Okay. And so what this is about is and you go on a website. This company went public November of last year. And they already have an inclusion program where they're giving, working with people of color to fund their businesses. And we have a young man, his name is Shayun. He has a company called Elevate, ELEV8. He has signed a multi-million-dollar deal.
Awesome.
And he's 26 years old.
Wow. That's amazing.
Right, and so it gave him the capital. And mind you, he's been in the business longer than any of us, including the people who run Tilt, because he actually started his company 3 years ago. He's the youngest black man in America with a dispensary. And so he's really adept, was able to negotiate a really good deal for himself. So he actually is able to open several stores. There's a maximum of 3 that you can open in the state of Massachusetts. And we're working with another 30 people.
Wow.
And we have a state economic empowerment program, but we want to make sure that they have the financial wherewithal to actually get open and get in the business.
Awesome. So I have a question that I'm pretty sure a lot of people want to hear is this. How was it making a transition from being an elected official to the weed man?
Well, it's all about elevating people and lifting them to higher level. No, I'm still, but so really, honestly, it's to me somewhat of the same goal. And so my life has been about creating opportunity and equity in all places.
Right.
In the Boston, and for Boston Public Schools, I was the chair of education.
Right.
Trying to open the doors of opportunity and equity in that space, making sure that the diverse spaces and teaching spaces. Right now, I want to make sure that we create ownership in this industry, because the issue has been, it's one thing for us to work in the industry, but we know that wealth is actually built by people having an opportunity to own and operate their own stores. So and then also things like Fight for 15.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? Real talk, I pay it by $15 an hour. I can't be, I'm down with fight for 15,
and not
then
properly playing
you make
people.
$13 an hour, Monica.
Right.
How do you like that? So that's one of the things that we're trying to work with to be congruent, and we're also working on implementing. And there's some challenges here, but I'd like to do a 401k with matching, because we want to make sure that our folks who are being who have been left back, left behind, left out, and locked up have an opportunity to be lifted, and we want to think about. I kind of feel. I told y'all. I was about to, this mic setup. I told you I feel like I'm like on MTV Unplugged.
So hold on, I think Tito's album is dropping next year.
We about to drop the album.
Tito's album's dropping. I'm gonna make a feature on the album.
Exactly,
I'm singing the hook.
I've completely moved over, so the council thing. So now I am in the cannabis business, and I'm coming out with an album. My album drops. So no, okay. But and also the other thing is, in government, people tell you what you can't do. They talk about your limitations.
Right.
They talk about budgets in that space. In this space, the amazing thing is there are so many amazing people doing amazing, innovative things. Most of them are younger than me.
Right.
And so there's just all of this energy that's in this space, but what I don't see enough of in this space is people of color. So what I want to also make sure that we're opening the doors to is making sure that at Verdant, we're training other people to get into business. We're training people how to work in this business, and also that we are getting the financial needs of people covered to be able to actually get into business. Just so you know, it's about $1 million to open a store.
Are you serious?
And it's $1 million, and you can't go to the bank.
Right.
And in fact, we already have a hard enough time putting money in a bank.
Let alone taking some money out and then giving us any.
Taking it out, right? So when
right.
it comes down to it, we have an opportunity, and that's what the inclusion program is for. We actually have $20 million that we're going to be deploying out into the community to help people get into the business.
Especially since, even just being here at this conference, one of the things I pointed out to you, I was like, I don't see a bunch of us here. And it should be, but because you don't have that capital to be able to put forth to do this, it makes it, again, another space where people are financially benefiting and we're not in that space. So I'm glad that you're a part of it. And hopefully it'll expand due to the work that you're doing with Verdant and Mattapan and different places. Specifically Mattapan, I'm excited about. I'm going to be honest.
Yeah. No, I'm really excited. And we want to make sure, and I'll say this, on the large companies should be putting money into small companies.
Right.
That should be their role. And when it comes down to it, this is also business. This is not a nonprofit. And I would also say to you, in many parts of the community in the city of Boston, the largest businesses in the black community are nonprofits.
Right.
And so
we
it is
nonprofit rich here.
Right? And so, but it's really critical that we have for-profit entities that will actually make and give opportunities for jobs, growth, and economic development. Daryl Settles, the former owner of Daryl's, said something really interesting at a meeting. He said, I'll give you $10,000 if you can name 10 black-owned businesses that do $2 million in top-line sales. I mean, not profit, but just in sales in general. No one in the room, this is a really, really highfalutin room.
Right.
No one could answer that.
Right.
What I would say to you is each person who opens a dispensary will be a millionaire. And so it is critical. The question that our communities need to ask is not if there will be a dispensary that opens, it's who. The law passed 2 years ago.
This is fact.
It's happening.
Yeah.
Today in Brookline, Salem, all these other places are all around the state of Massachusetts. So we get stuck sometimes in it's wrong. Well, the reason why it was wrong
it's because we was getting locked up for it.
We were getting locked up. That's the wrongest part of this.
Right. Right. And the other piece is when you talk about it being wrong, right? So a lot of people are under this assumption that when they hear dispensary, it's a bunch of young people going to the dispensary buying marijuana. But the truth is there are a lot of senior citizens who use it for a number of different health reasons, fibromyalgia, arthritis, and things like that. And so I think the perception should change as well because they're prescribing it in hospitals. It's just not popular.
So let's keep it 100. The front door to the opioid crisis wasn't a cannabis dispensary.
Right.
The front door to the opioid crisis was CVS and Walgreens.
Absolutely.
Right? So
and to this day, you can go get prescriptions from both places and they don't coordinate, so you can get double high.
Right.
Just FYI.
So
I don't know.
Right?
I'm just guessing.
Right? Percocet, Vicodin, Dilaudid,
Right.
OxyContin are all still sold
Right.
in those places. And I'm not saying there aren't individuals, in particular oncology patients, who actually need that,
Right,
but that's the
right.
front door to this crisis. So what people need to realize, these are more secure than any liquor store you've ever been in. And in terms of the kid piece, I never, ever, ever, ever want to have a child in my facility. And so how do we deal with that? One, you can't actually, everybody has to do this. This is not only Verdant. You can't open the door, so you have to buzz in.
Which is great.
When you come to the door, like the nightclub, there's a little swipe thing.
Right.
They take your ID. That's
Right.
before you break the threshold. Then you walk into another room, you get carded again and signed in.
Okay.
And then when you get onto the sales floor, it's not like a donut shop. So you can be like, can I have that one?
Can I have the
Can I have that
chocolate-covered
one?
marijuana?
And the maple glazed over there. No, it doesn't work that way. So there's someone there with an iPad.
Right.
They're able to order. Your order is brought out in a white opaque bag.
Right.
And before you sell, before that transaction happens, at my store, what we do is you sign a contract that says you won't light up, you won't litter, you won't loiter or break any rules or laws in the area, including double parking. Don't try to double park in front of my store.
Double parking to go get your marijuana. This
Yes.
is 2019, guys. Welcome.
That's a double. So before you make the transaction, you sign that, and then we card you one more time, and the transaction is made, and then you're escorted out.
Awesome.
And so we don't ever want young people to be exposed to this. And I would say to you, let's also be real. Where young people get it is in an illicit market.
Right.
I don't say black market for obvious reasons.
Right.
But that's where they get it. And so one of the things that you also see is you don't actually see an increase in Colorado of young people
Selling
using.
drugs.
Actually using.
Yeah.
But this is and understand, Colorado to me defines failure in a lot of ways because they have one store that's owned by a black person
Wow.
out of 750. Right?
Jeez,
And
yeah.
so what you saw 4 years out, they had a 50% increase in arrests of black people for selling. So that should make you scratch your head. So why did that happen?
Because you don't have any black people in the industry actually opening up shops. I don't know. I'm
Right.
just guessing.
Right? So
Yeah.
so what I assume is if Monica opened a shop, there's probably going to be more than one black woman in the shop.
Absolutely, it's going to be at least 15 black women in the shop.
Right? So
Yes.
brothers might not be able to work there at
No,
all. So
not at all.
Exactly. So that to me is also another component. We know that when women open businesses, oftentimes women, and this actually works in investment also. When you look in the VC world, 95% of women who get invested in come from a firm that has a woman who's actually on their management team.
Okay.
Right? We look out for each other. So if we
Right.
have those opportunities, and when we have people of color who are in the industry, they're going to open the doors of opportunity for others to be able to build and become
So
become
Tito, what is
owners.
the age requirement to get involved?
So 21
Uh-huh.
to work at a store. We have jobs ranging from security. There are people who are patient service advocates as well as / bud tenders. At the bartender, you have
Legal drug dealer. All right.
Listen, but I would say that one, these are highly trained individuals,
Right.
And we actually have a medical license also. So the piece is we are serious about our patient care,
Right.
and so those individuals who have MS, those individuals who have arthritis. My mom uses CBD. Don't tell people that my mama was using THC, but
Okay. I won't tell nobody.
Yeah, exactly, but these are serious illnesses, so
Right.
we actually have training for everyone who works in our facilities so that they are matched with the proper medication in order to treat their ailment or illness.
So how would one get involved? Like if they wanted
Yeah.
to sign up or apply to a position with Verdant, with
Yeah.
one of the shops that you're opening,
Yeah.
how would they go about getting involved?
Yep, couple pieces. So one, you can go on verdantmedical.com and sign up through there.
Okay.
That's for a job. If you are looking to open your own business, if you are part of the state economic empowerment program and are looking potentially for some funding or some guidance, go to tiltholdings.com, TILTHOLDINGS.com. On their site is a tab called Inclusion, and that is where I would get your information in order to actually start a business. We have to be in this business, because without being in this business, it'll be doubly harmful, because we're putting other people out of business who were in the quote-unquote illicit market.
Right.
And those dollars will need to flow back into our neighborhoods and our communities and to our people.
Totally. So guys, if you guys are watching, 21 years old, you can have a Corey, go apply, get you a job in Mattapan. You get to work with Tito. Can I just tell you guys something? So I went from working on Tito's nonprofit.
Let's go back.
Okay, so
let's go back to what really happened.
I cussed
ladies
Tito
and
out on my doorstep.
She cussed me out.
And then
twice.
I volunteered.
Not once, twice.
Twice. And then I volunteered on his campaign, and then I ended up running his nonprofit. He was a city councilor. He ran for mayor, and now he's the weed man. He is the true definition of a black man.
It's called progress.
Hustle and flow.
It's called progress. But this is the fastest growing industry in the world.
Absolutely.
You cannot show me. And by the way, I worked in pharmaceutical sales. I worked for Johnson & Johnson. I worked for Eli Lilly.
Right.
I was part of a startup.
Right.
There is no other industry that is growing at this speed, and it is there's a special place here, right? Because the regulatory environment hasn't come off in most of the states in the United States.
Right.
So understand, as that happens, that's going to only accelerate the growth of this vital industry in and around the United States and across the world. This is a medicine, and then the other side of this is that because it has been a Schedule I drug, which is the craziest thing. Understand, Schedule I is heroin, LSD,
Right.
and marijuana.
Okay.
Schedule II, so mind you, Schedule I they say has no health what should I say, benefits. They do nothing.
Right.
Schedule II is meth, cocaine, Oxycontin,
Right.
and Percocet. So far be it from me to question that,
Right.
but how is marijuana worse than cocaine and meth? I'm not a scientist, but I know a little bit of science.
Look, I feel like Cat Williams in this space. When you smoke weed, the only three things that's gonna happen is happy, hungry, sleepy. That's it. You know what I'm saying? You may think he's dead. He's gonna get up in a few minutes and eat up everything in your refrigerator. That's just my perspective on marijuana.
Right, and so that becomes an issue in terms of that classification, and it's been done for a reason. And this is also about, what do we do with the failed war on drugs?
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
And this is happening now. We're legal, I think 9-10 states now.
Yeah.
And then you have several other states who are legal on the medical front. This is the future, and we must step up.
Well, Tito, I want to thank you for letting me interview you. Mike, are we good?
No, I got one shout out.
Oh, okay.
I want to give a huge shout out to my man Mike from Young Jerks.
Yes, sir.
I guess Mike would. He's one of the reasons why we got in this game, right?
So the crazy thing is Mike is responsible for a lot. He's the reason why I have my own radio program. You know what I mean? Mike got an award today.
Well, that's what. No, it was last night.
I was there. Okay. Oh, excuse me.
So Mike. I believe it was. I believe media person, the Young Jerks Media Show of the Year.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. So huge shout out to my man Mike.
Shout out to Mike Crawford for his doing his thing.
Honestly, and one other shout out to Disrupt Boston. Real talk, the platform. So this is how you make change is not only in your own business, but being a platform for change that allows multiple other people to make change.
Listen.
And shout out to what folks were able to do. And understand, your next is greater than your now. Right. Whatever popped off in the past, or what I see. Okay, that's why I can't be a performer. Okay. Amen. But what I see for y'all in the future is exponentially larger, more robust, and you're gonna touch not only thousands, but millions of people. That's what I see for you guys. And don't forget about the little brothers at that point.
Well, listen, I consider this an honor just because of our first interaction almost 10 years ago, me cussing you out and then working for you and you being my mentor. And now I get to interview you about marijuana. We are moving up in the world.
We are absolutely moving up. And sometimes she still cusses me out.
Absolutely, but it's from love. You
Yes,
feel the love?
I feel it.
So thank you, Tito. I appreciate you.
Thank you, Monica.
It's been an honor. It's been an honor to be here. NECANN is so amazing. It's my first time. I'm hopeful that next year maybe we can sponsor and bring some people from the hood so they can see it, because the tickets is not cheap. I just want to put that out there.
I will. I'll do 20 next year.
Awesome. So you heard that, guys. We're gonna bring some people from the hood so they can actually.
It always
indulge.
costs me money to hang out with Monica, though, but it's all good.
And he's the same person that told me that you never get in front of somebody and pass up an opportunity to not ask them for some money. Thank you, Tito. It's been great.
Just using that on me. Well, thank y'all. Before I spend any more money, let me get off of air.
All right, I'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks. Bye.
Bye-bye.